Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday racing preview. Of course, we've got a fantastic card of racing on tomorrow. We've got, of course, the Group 1 Turnball Stakes at Flemington, as well as the Group 2 Blazer Stakes, the Group 3 Bart Cummings and the Group 2 Manifold. Then looking over at the Randwick card, really superb card there. They've got the Group 1 Flight Stakes over the 600 metres, the Group 3 Breeders' Plate, the Group 3 Gimcrack Stakes. They've got the Group 2 Premier Stakes, the Group 2 Active Hill Stakes, and the Group 1 Metrop and the Group 1 Epsom. So 3 Group 1s up at Randwick, stacks of group races to get into there. So really looking forward to that. Of course, in this first video, we're going to look at Flemington first, the Victorian feature meeting tomorrow. And we'll be looking at Randwick in the video after this one. So looking at the first race tomorrow at Flemington, at this stage the track's at a good 4. There is a little bit of rain about though here in Victoria. At this stage not enough to bring it into the soft range, but you might want to monitor the conditions overnight. We could be working with a soft track tomorrow potentially, but at this stage work with a good track. And the first race tomorrow is going to be up the straight, over 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. It's the Maribyrnong Trial Stakes. And as I mentioned, over the 1,000 metres, we've got only a 5-horse field here. So looking at the speed map, it's a couple of debutant runners here, so it's a little bit tough to say. You know, Mildred will be on pace. It obviously won here just the other week, beating Divine Capri at Flemington up 900 metres. So that's we know that those two will be probably relatively forward in the run. Divine Capri on that occasion came from about 5th and ran on, so it might do something similar here. And Deep Speed looks to have a little bit of early pace based on its jump outs, and then Boom Daddy might be getting forward. So there's a little bit of an intrigue into this, but I think you could safe say Mildred will find the top and will be out and running. But for me, look, I'm happy to be number 6 Divine Capri. I think it can turn the tables on Mildred from last start. Really did rocket to the line late. I think that extra 100 metres is going to suit this horse perfectly, and it should just be able to get over the top of it this time round. So I'm happy to beat it on top of the $2.90. To beat number 2, Deep Speed, who looks a very nice 2-year-old colt out of deep field for Tony and Calvin McAvoy. Of course, Luke Curry in the saddle to ride looks to have a lot of ability. I'm happy to have him for second. In the third, number 5, Mildred, who was terrific on debut. As I mentioned, was close to the speed, just too tough in the end. And look, I mean, the extra 100 metres will be interesting to see how it goes up against Divine Capri. But interesting that it's $4.60 while Divine Capri's $2.90. It did beat it. I know Divine Capri was a great run. It really came home late. But I really do think Mildred's over the odds there a little bit. So I'm happy to have him for third. Then in for fourth, look, I'm happy to have Jurley here for the James Cummings Exceed and Excel 2-year-old colt with Damien Lade in the saddle, ahead of Boom Daddy, who I've got as my 5th pick. So recap the numbers on race number 1 tomorrow at Flemington. I do like number 6, Divine Capri on top to beat. Number 2, Deep Speed in for second. In for third, number 5, Mildred. And in for fourth, number 3, Jurley. Moving on to race number 2, it's a listed 400 metre race, the Furphy Paris Lane Stakes. Looking at the speed map in this contest, I'd say that Vieira will probably be getting forward with Romancer. They'll probably be the top 2 in the running. Mr. Moneybags won't be far off, and Music Bay will be up and thereabouts. So not a whole lot of speed in this race, and you won't want to be too far from the speed. But look, even still, I think number 3, Violate, looks a really good bet here. This horse last prep won first up over 400 metres in a Group 3 race, and then looking at some of its form last prep, 4.3 lengths behind 50 Stars in a Group 2 at Rose Hill. That of course went and ran in the Randwick behind Brutal in a Group 1 there. Was second to Tyzone in a Group 3 in Doomben. So this horse, early in its last preparation, was really running in some top line group racing. And here it finds itself in a listed race here. So I think it's really well set up here. And not a lot of speed inside of it. So I like to see James Winks be a little bit positive out of the barrier and just get forward, try and get into midfield and be in that spot where it can sweep round him and win late. It's got good first up stats, 7 starts for 3 wins and 2 placings. The only interesting thing is that if we do get that wet range tomorrow, I'll be a little bit of a concern. This horse is definitely on top, loves running on top of the ground, is not a wet tracker in the slightest. But I'm still happy to have it on top based on quality. I think it's got a great chance to win. Head of number 7, Music Bay, who I think's a very good chance as well. Will be right up, probably close to speed based off the good barrier. And if it does so, similar to what it did behind My Pendant first up. Second up here, it's going to be much improved. Still at the 400 metres. Comes to Flemington for the second time. Last time it was here, it placed up at this track. But look, I can see a bit of improvement from it. But $5 to me, it's probably well on the market. $2 a place looks pretty appetising, I guess you can say that. In for third, number 8, Mr. Moneybags. So I think she's getting really close to a win here. It wasn't too bad last start behind Rocks the Castle at a listed race here at Flemington at the track. So, look, wouldn't be surprised if it knocks him out at the $8.50. Good price there. And look, I thought this horse was massively over the odds in for fourth. Number 2, Fastnet Tempest. It's coming out of course, the Sir Rupert Clark Stakes behind so Be Good Yamala. Went around $151 odds on that occasion. Prior to that, it was beaten by the Inevitable at Mooney Valley, where nothing came from the back. So 2 forgive runs, really. Comes back to Flemington as one here before over the 400 metres. In fact, it was its second last run last prep. Then won a Group 3 at Moorfields. This horse got a stack of ability, and really, I mean, that's well over the odds at the $19. It's drawn. Won't want to get too far back. That's it. My only concern with it. If there was a little bit more speed in the race, I'd be probably putting it way up on my numbers. But if you want to have something each way on a bit of a roughie, number 2, Fastnet Tempest could definitely knock these out of the water. But for me, look, I really do like number 3, Violate on top for me. Ahead of number 7, Music Bay in for second. And for third, number 8, Mr. Moneybags. And for fourth, number 2, Fastnet Tempest. Moving on to race number 3 over the 1100 metres. 3-year-old Antler Luggage Pisidian Stakes. Look at the speed map here. It's obviously up the straight. Look, quite a bit of speed in this, I'd say. Hearty Lass, South Australian visitor, will get up the front. Sebricate has been sitting back in its runs, but it could also go forward. Hawker Hurricane will be close to the speed. Lady Naturalist usually pings out of the gates and goes forward. Order Fury's been up there. Tarry F, way up in the sky, won't be too far off. So it looks to be a bit of speed in this race. I think this is a fantastic race. Could be a lot of be quite hard to split some of these, to be honest. Look, I really like the work of number 13, Brooklyn Hustle. It's recent trials. Looks like it's come back a very nice horse, and I'm very interested to see what this horse could do first up here up the straight. May need the run. It's been a long layoff for it, but I really like those trials, and I can't get away from it. I think the straight track's going to suit this horse perfectly. Get this time to wind up, get through its gears, and really power over the top. So I like it on top. Ahead of number 8, Order Fury, who I thought was massively over the odds. This horse was terrific last start, winning at Bendigo. Prior to that, was beaten by Hidden Legend, who's been not a bad horse. Lightly raced, Damien Oliver in the saddle. I think $16 way over the odds, so I'm happy having him for second. Another horse I thought was over the odds as well is number 6, the Executioner, for Trent Buss and Natalie Young. This horse I've always had a bit of time for, and it's had 2 starts this preparation for 2 wins. Got rolled as a narrow $1.70 favourite first up, then went over to Morphettville and finished second there. But this horse been around the mark, and it's got a massive turn of foot on it, so if it gets a chance to go through its gears and wind up, it could be a very good chance in this sort of race. So I'm happy to have it in for third. And again, another one who I thought was massively over the odds, so I'm happy to go with a bit of value in this race, but it was, Number 4, Lucifer's Reward for Brendan McCarthy. This horse I can't believe it's $26 odds. I think that's absolutely ridiculous in a race like this, where it's been racing in some good company. Looking back at the last start, I mean, it finished only 0.6 of a length behind Ghana, which that form looks pretty good at Caulfield. Prior to that, won brilliantly at Sandown, beating Ginny Ann, who goes around as one of my picks at Mooney Valley. So if you haven't seen my Mooney Valley selections, go and have a look at my Instagram and Facebook pages. I've got Ginny Ann on top in the second at Mooney Valley, so we can see what that form line's like there. But I think this horse is hugely over the odds, and there's a very good chance. But look, there's a lot of chance in this. It's a very open race. Look, I've left way up in the sky out. I was really impressed with that first up run, and I thought it was a great chance. The second up run, but first run up the straight. Beat a decent field there. But for me, look, $2.70 just looks a little bit short for me. I wouldn't want to dive into that. And just thought there was so much value in this race. It's extremely hard to really find a good pick. I've been a big fan of Excess Funds for a little while now, and it's got its chance. Obviously, went round in the Vane Stakes last time out, was won by Bivouac, and the form of that race is terrific. So there really is a lot of good chances here. And I mean, Sebricate's another one that's been coming out of group perform races. That race behind Bivouac, finished behind Super Seth. Dallas Sun comes back to the straight here at Flemington, which he enjoys. So there's so much value in this race, but for me, I'm keen to see what number 13 Brooklyn Hustle can do. So I'm happy to have it on top. Ahead of number 8 Order of Fury, I thought this horse has got a lot of ability. It's on the way up. Danny O'Brien has a massive opinion of this horse. He thinks it could be very similar to the Order Command. So if you're anything like that, it can run well here. Number 6, the Executioner in for third, and in for fourth, number 4, Lucifer's Reward. So again, a lot of each way plays there. I'll be keen to have maybe each way plays on a couple of them, but I think Brook and Hustle can be on top in that race. So moving on to race number 4, it's a very good Blazer Stakes over 400 metres for the mares. Group 2 race here. The first of the group races at Flemington. Look at the speed map. I'd say Hawkbury on her will find the top. Dawn probably sit in the box seat behind. Spanish Whisper will get across, sit just outside the lead. Savatiano will be up there as well. But not a lot of speed in this race. And as such, I think it might be a little bit hard for some of these back markers to come into it. So, look, I'm happy to be number 2, Spanish Dream here. I just thought it was massively over the odds. For a horse that won a Group 2 last start, Miss Sissy's come out and run well since. This horse has never lost here at the track. 2 starts for 2 wins. I just think that it's just going to get all the time on the speed. And $7.50 is a pretty good price to take, I reckon. So I've got it on top. Ahead of number 4, Savatiano, who I think is a very good chance if it can follow across on the outside barrier. First up here, it's got great first up stats. It's had 5 starts first up for 3 wins and a placing. It's had 2 places at the track before, so I think it's got a great chance to be in for second. In for third, number 6, Angelic Ruler, who returned brilliantly last time out at Caulfield. It was a great run home behind Manicure. Second up here, it's at 1-2. It's 2 from 2 second up, so I think it'll be a much improved performance by it. And if they overdo it out front, number 8, Fidelia, will be charging home late. Even if they don't overdo it, this horse is a top class animal, and she's going to be charging home late. But she did finish behind Spanish Whisper last time out, yet goes around at the $3 favourite, so figure that one out. But for me, very happy to be number 2, Spanish Whisper on top. Very good each way odds for me. Number 4, Savatiano for second. In for third, number 6, Angelic Ruler. And in for fourth, number 8, Fidelia. Moving on to race number 5, it's the 800 metre 3-year-old superimposed stakes. Look at the speed map here. A few of these went round in the Oaks trial and also the Derby trial. So interesting to see how some of these come out of that race and move into this one. Look at the speed map. I'd say that the Lifeline will find the top. Sacramento won't be far off. Brilliant Venture usually is up on the speed. It wasn't last time out, much to my disappointment because I tipped it on top. Reckoning will probably get across. Fabianski won't be far across, but it doesn't look to be a stack of speed in this race as such. And I think the Lifeline might get a relatively easy time on speed. And as such, I do think with Linda Meach in the saddle, I'm going to go with it again. I did tip it last time out. It was only just run down by Skidor, who was rock hard fit and was just looked set to be winning that race. But I think this horse can run a nice race once again. So I'm happy to have it on top at the each way odds with Linda Meach in the saddle. In for second, number 3, Independent Road, who I think is really building to something special here, and it was very good last time out behind Legionnaire. It reads 8th, was only 1.7 lengths off, and really did make off some good ground late. So I'm happy to have it in for second. In for third, number 5, Adelaide Ace, who we saw, of course, win at the Oaks trial, and that was a terrific performance by her. Winning the Derby trial. It was a terrific performance by him. He really did charge the line well there, and he appreciates the track, and Lindsay Smith's absolutely on fire at the moment. So I'm surprised if it comes out and wins. So I've got it in for fourth. Then in for third, Then in for fourth, I do like the chance of number 9, Long Jack, who was in that Skidor race that the Lifeline was in. I think it can improve off that. This horse is, of course, heading towards a Derby as well. So interesting to see how it runs. But for me, look, I'm happy to have number 4, the Lifeline, on top. To beat number 3, Independent Road, in for second. In for third, number 5, Adelaide Ace. And in for fourth, I like the chance of number 9, Long Jack. Moving on to race number 6, it's the Group 2 Gilgai Stakes up the straight, 1,200 metres. Really looking forward to this race. There's 2 top Everest contenders in this one. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Vital Silver, Dothraki will be up there. Sunlight will be on the pace, as long as Nantali. But not a whole lot of speed for a 1,200 metre straight race up the straight. And for me, look, this looks the one for Sunlight. I'm very keen on Santana Lane for the Everest, but I think he's going to need this run first up. And I'm happy to be a Sunlight here. I think it's her race to win. She's been up now for 2 starts. She's really building towards that Everest. But I think this third up run is a very good chance for her to win. She's won up the straight before. She's won, obviously, a lightning up the straight here. So she's got a top chance tomorrow. And I think $2.70 is a pretty nice price, to be honest. So I'm happy to have her ahead of Santana Lane, who he will be charging home late. He's got to carry 60 kilos first up. But he's a top-line sprinter. I love him, and I think a lot of people would know that who know me or have followed me, and I'm a big rap for him, and I think he's a great chance for the Everest. But just for me, he's given away a bit of, race day fitness to Sunlight, who will be up on speed and not a lot of speed in it. So I'm happy to have Santa in for second. In for third, number 4, Zatori, who was just, in for third, number 9, I'm Excited. I thought it was huge over the odds. This horse just never really came off from the back last start behind Mizzy in the Group 2 Shirako at Rose Hill. But since then, Mizzy has come out and franked the form, so it looks pretty good on paper. This horse has never not placed it at up the straight here at Flemington. It's had 3 starts for a win and 2 placings. Second up stats are very good. Last time out, second up, it went around on a heavy track by a nature strip in a Group 1 there at Rose Hill. But, she's a Group 1 winner, and she should not be $17 odds. I think that's ridiculous. So I'm happy to have her in for third. And then in for fourth, for me, number 4 is Zatori, who's stepping up to the big time here. But this horse looks to have a lot of ability and could have been much better being passive at Group 2 last start, which of course is the Bobby Lewis quality up the straight here. So I expect a bit of improvement from it. So recap the numbers for the race number 6, the Gilgai Stakes. I'm happy to have number 7, Sunlight, on top for me. To beat number 1, Santran Lane, in for second. In for third, number 9, I'm Excited. And in for fourth, number 4, Zatori. Moving on to the race number 7, it's the Group 1 Tab Turnball Stakes over the 2,000 metres. Really looking forward to this race. It's a very nice field this year. And look at the speed map for the Tab Turnballs. I think Trap for Fools will roll forward. Finch will be up there. Van de Clear usually likes to go on pace. Kentucky Breeze will be close to the speed. Mystic Journey will be up there. A bit of a tricky gate for it, to be honest. Rostropovich won't be far off. Kingsville Dream will be looks to be a little bit of speed in this race. Looks like Elvis might want to use its inside barrier. Usually it goes back in its races, but it might want to go forward and not be stuck too far back. So they could really charge along here and really set up for the back markers, which I do think number 3, Mr. Quickie, will be charging over the top of them late. He was absolutely superb on getting first up. Of course, in the Maccabi Diva Stakes over 600. The 2,000 is going to suit perfectly. This horse has been just 2 from 2 second up. I think he's very much capable of winning this race and getting another Group 1 into his locker. The race, as I said, I think is going to be run at a real genuine tempo. He's going to be run to suit, and he'll be charging home late. So I'm happy to have him on top. To beat number 6, Finch, who I thought was, again, $8 for a horse that was very good last time out. It's heading towards the Melbourne Cup for Chris Waller. And this horse won Beaten Stampede last time out in the Group 3. They, of course, the Kingston Town at Randwick. Stampede since come out, won last week at Rose Hill. So the form's pretty good around Finch. So maybe have it in for second. In for third, number 4, Mystic Journey, who, she's a very, very talented mare. We all know that. But for me, she had every chance last time out. She just couldn't run gutting down. And I thought that Mr. Quickie's run was much better than hers, based on the fact that not much came from the back, but Mr. Quickie was storming home. So happy to have her in for third. And then in for fourth, number 8, Kingswood Dream, who would not surprise me if he comes and knocks these out. I gave him a chance in the Maccabi Diva. He just never came on from midfield. Did strike a bit of luck, in all fairness, but he did have his chance, I thought, to at least run on a bit. He was a little bit disappointing there, but I do think he's building towards something. And that first up run at Randwick was terrific in the Wing Stakes. So can repeat that sort of run up to the 2,000 metres here, which is going to be much better suited. He'll be a very good chance. He obviously has only ever missed the 1 placing at Flemington, which was last start, but he's had 5 starts at the track for 2 wins, 2 placings. So I think he'll be running home well. The other horse I want to give a good chance to, number 5, Rostropovich. He was superb first up in the Maccabi Diva. He was rushing home late as well. Might need third. I'm waiting for third up for him, but he's a very good horse and he'll be right up there. And number 1, Hartnell, he does his thing. He battles away. So look, you want to probably go a little bit wide in this, I would say, the Turnball in the quaddie, but I'm pretty happy to have number 3, Mr. Quickie, on top based off what I saw last start. It was a terrific run and I think can win here. In for second, number 6, Finch. In for third, number 4, Mystic Journey. And in for fourth, number 8, Kingsville Dream. Move on to race number 8. It's the Lexus Bart Cummings Group 3 race over 2,520 metres. A lot of these heading towards Melbourne Cup, Caulfield Cup. So real interesting form race to have a look at. Look at the speed map. Let's say Wolf and Del Harold will probably be the first 2 up on speed. Alphuris won't be far off, and Ventura Storm will be up there as well. But not a lot of speed in the race. And for me, I thought this horse was massively over the odds, to be honest. I thought number 2, Del Harold, I thought he had a great chance here. And he was okay first up. He carried 61 kilos in that Mosh Music race. He gets the blinkers on here. He's second up now. He gets up to that 2,500 metres. Look at last prep. I mean, he was second in the Bendigo Cup. He was beaten by 0.1 of a length at Sandown in the Group 2 there. And then he went and was beaten by our Big Mike in the Pakenham Cup. So he went around some decent races last time out, and I think he might be building towards something here, and he'll be on speed, and there's not a lot of pace in it. Mark Zarin gets 4 kilos off his 61 from last start, down to 57. I think $19 is just stupid odds, so I'm going to have him on top. To beat number 10, Wolf, who will also be on the pace, and We'll give him something to run down. It was a little bit disappointing last round by Brim and Rocks. It didn't jump to the front, but I think if it gets to the front here this time around with Linda Meach in the saddle, it'll give a good sider. So it'll be in for second for me. In for third, number 3, Surprise Baby, who I gave a great chance to. Look, was absolutely terrific first up at Moonee Valley. It was a sensational run in the Fee and Stakes. Obviously he's building towards something good, but for me, $2.40 is just way too short. I couldn't have it on top at the $2.40. There's not a lot of speed in the race, so I'm happy to have it in for third. And then in for fourth, number 11, Supernova, who I've always had a bit of time for this horse, and it was a bit disappointing last night behind Finch, and when it was well backed in the Kingston Town, but prior to that, it was really good behind Gouloir at the Rally Mile at Hawkesbury. So if it can return that sort of form and step you up a distance here, which I think is going to suit really well, it could run a good race. Other ones I've left out, I think Muntahar's got a bit of a chance to bounce back off its run first up. It was a little bit disappointing, so for me, couldn't put it in the numbers based off what I saw first up. And look, the good fight's got a bit of a chance. And Taco Caliburn's probably an interesting runner. I really gave it a little bit of a chance first up, and it was a terrific run behind Alfred. And the second up here at the 2,500 once again, it might be interesting to see how this runner goes. Probably a little bit stiff to leave him out, to be honest. Looking at it now, I kind of wish I had him in. King of Lear Grants will be up there as well. So a few chances in the Bart Cummings, but I'm pretty happy to be number 2, Del Harold on top. Just think it's well over the odds, so I'm happy to have it on in for first to beat. Number 10, Wolf in for second. In for third, number 3, Surprise Baby. In for fourth, number 11, Supernova. I said a bit of a watch on Taco Calburn and King of Lear Grants as well. Probably they're the two I'll be looking out for. Move on to race number 9. It's the final leg of the quaddie, and it's the final race of the day. The Group 2 Tab Edward Manifold Stakes over 600 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. With the speed map here, say Excuse will find the top. Salika will be going out Moonee Valley tonight, so won't worry about that. Deserved will be close to the speed. Bonavici will be up there, and Facino will be up there as well. So there's not a lot of speed on paper. And as such, I have looked around the first few numbers, and I thought number 3, Deserved, was over the odds again. I've been with it twice this prep, so had a fourth and a third. Comes up to the mile now, and which I think is going to suit nicely. And it was really good last night by Ryan Malik, and it really closed the line well. And in fact, this horse is $21 is just ridiculous. So I'm very happy to have it on top for me. To beat number 6, Excuse, who I do give it a bit of a chance for here with Craig Williams in the saddle. I think, it comes out of that same form line as Deserved, but behind I Am Eloquent, was on the pace that time out. Will be on speed again here. And I'd say it'll be right at the finish as well. So those two well over the odds for me. I think that's the right form coming into this. Ahead of number 7, Miami Bound, who I think is a very good horse. I've got a lot of time for her, but she's coming from a benchmark 70 into a Group 2 race, and she's $12.50. That's just ridiculous for me. It's way too short. So I'm going to have her in for third. And then in for fourth, bit of a chance. I'm interested to see what number 11, Subpoena, can do here. It was a bit disappointing last time out in a good race. Of course, the T-Rose Stakes behind Funstar. But prior to that, it was really good being Celestial Falls. And we know that horse has come out done since. It came out and won the Oaks trial during the week last week at Flemington. So the form looks good around Subpoena. Gets the big track here at Flemington, which I think is going to suit this horse really nicely to wind up, get through his gears and power home. But for me, I'm very keen to be with a bit of value here. I think number 3, Deserved, is well over the odds, so I'm going to have her on top. To beat number 6, Excuse, in for second. In for third, number 7, Miami Bound. And in for fourth, number 11, Subpoenaed. Now, looking across the race card, my best bets. Look, for me, I'm quite keen to have a play on race number 6, number 7, Sunlight. She's my best bet of the day for me. I'm happy to have her on top. My second best bet of the day, look, I'm pretty keen to go with number 3, Mr. Quickie, in the Turnball Stakes. I think he's got a great chance, and I'm happy to go with him at the $3.60. My 2 best each way plays, I'm very happy to go with number 3, Deserved, at the $21 and $6 a place. Thought it was well over the odds, so I'm happy to have an each way play on it as one of my best each ways of the day. And the other one is number 2, Spanish Whisper, in race number 4, the Blazer Stakes Group 2 race at $7.50 and $2.40. So good luck if you're following tomorrow. Keep an eye out for my Randwick preview for tomorrow. Fantastic meeting there. We're looking forward to getting into. And if you haven't already done so, go and check out my social media channels. I've got my Moonee Valley tips for tonight up there, and I'm going to also be posting all of these tips on there tomorrow. So that's C Lane Racing Tips on Facebook and C Lane _Racing Tips on Instagram. So Thanks for all the support recently. I really appreciate you tuning in and listening to the previews. Been getting a few winners recently, which is great, and I really look forward to dissecting these races every weekend and trying to give you winners. And even still, I like to give you a few extra ones to follow on. If you've got something in my numbers that you like, I mean, you can always take a bit of benefit and confidence out of me talking about it for you. So, good luck for you following tomorrow, especially if you're following my tips. And if you haven't already done so, go check out the social media pages. And thanks for following, and good luck tomorrow, and enjoy the races tomorrow.